Hey guys, what's up? My name is Dean, author of the #1 best-selling Yoga Basics for Men ebook on Amazon, and also creator of the top 5 best-selling Yoga Boost DVD on Amazon. And I'm here today to show you restorative yoga for beginners. So if you've been wondering about how to incorporate yoga into your workout routine, but haven't considered really going to a yoga studio and doing a full hour workout, or don't want to go through the process of learning yoga in order to start getting the benefits, this is for you. So we're going to show you a few postures today, a few stretches to help you recover, to help you restore your muscles, to help you get back to feeling 100% once more. So this is something you can do immediately after your workouts. You can also do it on days off or rest days when you're a little too sore to do a full workout, but you want to do some movement. I've got my friend Gary here with me today to help me out. Gary is a former roommate and lacrosse teammate of mine, and he's been doing yoga for a year or two now, so he's going to show you some different variations of the postures, and so we'll both combine to give you a good idea of what you can expect your body to do, either select what I'm doing or Gary's doing. All right, guys, let's get started. So we're going to start off today on the ground in a child's pose, and this is a really good all-purpose stretch for your spine. So we're going to bring the knees wide, the big toes touch. You want to get some lift to your chest, try to arch your back, and then walk your arms out in front of you about shoulder width, maybe a little wider than shoulder width. And your arms are going to be firm here, so you don't want to relax your elbows down. You should keep your arms somewhat firm. Your forehead can relax down, and then you're going to squeeze your arms toward one another. Try to tighten your abs. The more you tighten your abs, the more you'll feel some stretching through the back. And even tighten your hips a little bit. So maybe squeeze your glutes. Breathing in and out of your nose. Oh, one more thing. You're going to need a block and a strap. If you don't have a strap, you can use a belt. If you don't have a block, you can use a stack of books. So just slowly breathing in and out of your nose. And if you happen to have 2 blocks, I'm going to show with Gary over here, but you can put the blocks where your hands are, and then you can put your hands on top of that block, push down, and then you'll get a deeper stretch through your shoulders. You can also use a bench press machine for that, or anything that you can put your arms on, like a bench, or even a couch or table. All right, one more breath here. All right, then we're going to move up to a tabletop position. Bring your knees about hip width distant, and then ankles lined up with your knees. And you're just going to spin your hands around so your palms are down, your fingers are facing you. And we're going to stretch out the wrist. And you can kind of work on moving side to side here. You can try doing a little bit of a twist. We're just going to work on stretching the forearms and the wrist here. If you spend a lot of time at the computer, you get tight. You spend a lot of time on your phone, or maybe you do a lot of gripping weights, or a lot of grip stuff, or maybe pull-ups, and that's going to also make your forearms tired. So this is just a nice restorative pose to help your wrist and help your forearms. So notice I'm just kind of moving around a little bit, maybe leaning back, maybe twisting from side to side. All right, and then we're going to flip the hands, so palms facing up now, and this is a little different. Palms facing up, fingers facing one another, and lightly push down through the tops of your hands, and then spread your fingers as wide as you can. So this is a little different. It's stretching the opposite side. You're going to feel this in the top of your hand and also in the wrist and the outside of the forearm. And so this is to stretch your wrist in a different way. And if you're spending a lot of time with your fingers kind of arched like this, or your wrist extended, this is going to be a nice position to stretch your wrist another way. So just a breath or two here. And if this is too intense, you can try doing one fist at a time. So make a fist with one hand, and then press the other hand to the ground. And that way you can put more weight into the fist at first, and then as it gets more comfortable, put more weight into the other hand. And then you can switch hands and make a fist with the other hand, press the back of the other hand into the ground. All right. And then from here, we're going to move into a cat-cow. So hands planted firmly, just like you're doing a plank. Knees under hips once more. Inhale to arch your back. Look forward and maybe up. And exhale to round. Bring the upper back toward the sky. Bring your head toward your chest. Look behind you. And just do about 5 of these. So inhaling to arch, pulling your chest forward, lengthening your upper back, and exhaling to round. Tightening the core, reaching your tailbone down, rounding your back, and keep going. You want to make sure that your knees are squeezing toward one another. That's going to help keep your core active and protect your spine as you're going through these. And you can do this on your own pace. So you want to go slow as you're doing this. It shouldn't be fast. You want to make it at least a 5-second inhale and a 5-second exhale. And then match your breath with your movement. So as you're inhaling, you're arching. And as you're rounding, you are exhaling. One more. Last one, exhale. All right, and then from here, moving back to a child's pose. We're gonna change this up a little bit. So knees come wide once more, big toes touch. Walk your arms out in front of you. And we're gonna move to a needle thread. So I want you to slide your right hand through your left hand and the left knee. So just sliding it under. You wanna keep the right shoulder on the ground. Turn over so you're looking at the left side. So the right side of your head is relaxed on the ground, and pull your right shoulder toward the right. You should feel a nice stretch to the upper back, to the outside of your shoulder blade. Try to keep your hips back. So you don't want your hips coming way forward. You want the hips down. You shouldn't feel much of a stretch in your lower back here. We're trying to isolate the upper back. It helps to push the back of your right hand into the ground as you're doing this. And again, just lightly pull that right shoulder toward the right. All right, go ahead and switch sides. So right hand goes out to where it started. Left hand slides through. Left shoulder still on the ground. Left side of the head comes to the ground. Relax that. And then lightly pull your left shoulder toward the left. Keep your hips down toward your heels. And lightly press your left forearm into the ground. So this is helping to stretch your shoulder. This is important. Shoulder mobility is something that very few of us work on. And this is also targeting the muscles. In addition to your outer shoulder blade, it's also helping to stretch your rotator cuff, which those muscles definitely need more attention. Those are a very commonly injured muscle. And so this is a great stretch to help you take care of your shoulders long term. And also to help you jumpstart your shoulder recovery. So if you did a shoulder workout before, this is great for helping you recover and get back to your workout more quickly. All right, we're gonna move out of this, back to that child's pose position. All right, and then go ahead and come back to a tabletop. And we're gonna step up to a lunge from here. So grab your strap for this, step your right leg up, push your right hip toward the ground. We're gonna work on stretching the left hip here, left hip. Pull your ribs up away from your hips, bring the strap overhead, pull the strap in opposite directions, and then lean toward the right. So by leaning toward the side here, we're getting a deeper stretch through the left hip, which is our target. So we're lengthening that psoas even more. And this is great for improving your overall mobility, your flexibility, but also for helping that muscle lengthen and recover more quickly. So we're doing a lot with this stretch. And if you spend a lot of time sitting, this is going to help counter that position that you typically find your hips in. And the more you do it, the more flexible you'll become over time. Even without having to do warm-up, you'll become more flexible. All right, come back to the middle and switch sides. If it hurts for your knee to be on the ground, you can use a pad, or you can use a towel or a pillow, or just a balled up t-shirt, which is what I'm using to help out. All right, left leg forward now, left hip pushing toward the ground, arms up, use the strap, breathe in, and then lean toward the left. Try to keep your hips in toward the middle. Don't let your hips press way out to the side. Work on getting tall. And as you exhale, sink a little bit deeper or lean a little bit more to the left. Again, breathing in and out of your nose, nice and controlled. Every exhale, maybe you go a little bit deeper. If you're already feeling a great stretch and you don't need to go any deeper, then you don't need to go deeper. That's fine. Our goal with these is the sensation of the stretch. It's not about how deep you get. It's about what your body is feeling. So don't try to replicate what I'm doing. Don't try to replicate what someone else is doing. Just do what you feel comfortable doing, what makes the right stretch happen for you. All right, bring it back to the middle, release, and we're gonna stand up and do a couple of half sun salutations. So these are kind of these are one of those quintessential moves in yoga, the sun salutation. We're gonna be doing a half sun salutation today, and so not as intense, but really nice for opening up the spine. So you're gonna start with your toes touching in a mountain pose, heels about an inch apart, standing up nice and tall with your hands at your sides. Take a deep breath in, lift your arms up. And then exhale, bend your knees, and then forward fold. Now if you have that block nearby, grab the block, place that in front of your feet, and work on keeping your spine flat. So make sure that your spine isn't rounded and your upper back is above your lower back. Try to keep your back flat, and you want to keep core engaged. So make sure that you're keeping your core muscles engaged, that you're not just allowing your stomach to collapse. And you should be able to stretch through your hamstrings here. So the thighs are squeezing toward one another. You're pressing down through your feet. Your chin is lightly tucked. You shouldn't be feeling overly stretching in the back. It should be mostly in the hamstrings. You probably will also feel a stretch in the mid and upper back. All right, so we're moving to a half lift from here. Make your upper body parallel to the ground. Pull your chest forward. Get your sternum to look forward. So if you look at me from the side, or if you do this later on in the mirror, your back should be flat from the side. So core is tight, legs are squeezing toward one another. The knees might need to bend a lot in order to make this stretch happen, in order to help you get that flat back, and that's fine. All right, we're gonna fold back down. So keep the flat back, bring your chest toward your thighs, look behind you. And then we're gonna come back up. So I want you to sit your butt down, kind of like you're doing a squat. Bring your arms out in front of you, or maybe out to the side, and then lift all the way up. Inhale, and release your arms. Good, all right, one more of those. So inhale back up. Exhale and fold, bend the knees, forward fold, keep the abs tight, keep the legs slightly bent. Look behind you, get a stretch through your legs. Inhale to a half lift, pull your body forward, try to flatten out your back, tighten the abs. Exhale and fold, look behind you, keep the legs squeezing toward one another. And then inhale, sit your butt down, lift your arms up, and bring your hands back down. Nice. All right, so there's your half sun salutation. That's a great stretch to do for when your back is feeling sore or your legs are sore. All right, we're gonna grab a strap. We're gonna do some standing stretches with the strap behind the back to open up your chest and get your neck in better shape. So, strap is behind the back about shoulder width, or if you're more flexible, you can hold it about hip width distant. You're gonna reach your hands down and then pull your chest up through your arms. So you're trying to get your chest as open as much as you can. And then I just want you to lean toward the left a little bit. So you're just gonna lean your head over to the left. Gary, you can stay there, that's fine. And so you're just leaning over toward the left a little bit, getting a deeper stretch through the right, kind of through the collarbone area and all through the neck. So all these muscles from the shoulder up through your head, and just leaning over to the side. And as you inhale, try and get a little taller. And then exhale, see if you can let the head kind of slide over a little bit more. And it might be really uncomfortable at first, but as you breathe into it, as you hold it, it gets easier. Your neck opens up and it's gonna feel a lot better. All right, bring it back to the middle. Good. Take another breath in. And then again, lean other side. So now head over toward the right. Keep your chest open and keep your head lifted. You don't want to just collapse your whole body, but you want to make sure that you're keeping upright through your body and just lightly leaning toward the right. If you want, you can squeeze the strap further away from your back to get deeper into the stretch. You can think about getting the shoulder further back as well, and that will help you get a deeper stretch. Give one more breath here. And then bring it back to the middle. Nice job. All right, and we're gonna release the strap and take it back down to the ground. We're gonna go into a low lunge once more. So take a big step back with your left foot, release the left knee down, untuck the back foot, and then swing your right arm under your left arm. So this is called an eagle stretch with your arms. So you're gonna bring your right arm under your left arm. Now, if you can't, you're gonna try and grab your fingers, but if this is difficult, I want you to grab opposite shoulder blades instead. So just kind of give yourself a hug and press your arms together, or you can just try pressing your forearm into your tricep like this. And then if you want, maybe you can interlace the fingers. So there's different stages here and each of them work. Your goal is to get a stretch through your shoulder blades. You should feel stretching between in the mid and upper back, in the middle. You can bring your elbows up higher to go deeper, and you can even lean back and get a little bit of a back bend if you want to get a deeper stretch for the hip. 2 breaths here. Keep the shoulders relaxed, keep your neck relaxed. All right, and then release and switch sides. So now left leg is coming up, right leg stays back. Push down through your left hip, pull the ribs up, get nice and tall, and then swing your left arm under your right arm. Again, whichever grip you want to do, if you want to grab opposite shoulder blades, dig the elbow into the arm, or interlace the fingers. All of those variations work. And then you're bringing your elbows up. You want to lift your chest up, so you want to make your spine as neutral as you can. You shouldn't be rounding forward like this, but we want to be nice and upright, maybe even a bit of a back bend. And every exhale, you're working a little bit deeper into this. And that could mean that you're increasing the depth, or it could mean that you're just relaxing into it a little bit more, and the intensity isn't quite as much as it was a few seconds before. Both show progress. Both show that you are working into the posture deeper. One more breath here. And then release. All right, we're gonna move into a lizard stretch. So this is a variation of a lunge, but a little bit deeper. So start off in that lunge position that we just did, all right, and then grab your block. So just like a lunge, except we're gonna bring that right foot further up and to the outside. So we're making this a deeper lunge. Sink your hips toward the ground, use the block, and take the knee down. And so the block is kind of a few inches inside your front foot, and you wanna pull your chest upright and sink your hips forward. And this is a really deep stretch. This might be really intense for you. If it's too intense as it is right now, you can bring your foot in a little bit more, right? So you can bring it closer and closer to your back knee and in a little bit more. But if you want to go deeper, bring it further up. Your knee should be over the ankle or slightly past the ankle. So if you find that the knee is behind the ankle, you can probably bring your foot a little bit further back. Yeah, and so holding this for a minimum of 30 seconds, you can also hold this for maybe 60 seconds, even 90 seconds if it's a good stretch. You're gonna feel the stretch on the inner right thigh and also through the front of the left hip. Make sure you're keeping your chest upright. Again, you're not falling forward here, but keeping your chest upright. And that allows the psoas, right, this muscle on the front of your left hip, to stretch out a little bit more. Give this one more breath. All right, and then switch. So bringing the right leg back, now bringing your left foot up. And again, same thing. So we're starting off in that lunge position. And if you want to use a towel or a t-shirt or a hoodie or whatever you have to give that knee a little bit of extra padding, go for it. And we'll walk that left foot up a little bit more to the outside and forward, and then sink into the hips. Keep your chest lifted. Keep breathing in and out of your nose. You can also hug that right leg in toward the middle, so almost like a magnet was pulling your right leg in to the inside. And the same thing with the left leg. The left leg also squeezes in. So we're gonna feel that stretch on the inner left thigh and also through the front of your right hip. Use the block to help you relax into the posture. So instead of having to get your hands down to the ground or not using anything and using your core strength to keep you upright, using the block allows you to relax a little bit. It allows your body to sink into the pose. If your muscles are super tense, if you're not relaxed, you're not going to work deeper into the flexibility and you're not going to recover as quickly. So when you're working on recovery, you have to relax into the posture. Use your breath to do that. And use props to do it. That all helps. One more breath here. All right, and then release. And we're gonna do 2 more stretches. So first is pigeon. So for pigeon, you're gonna start in that tabletop position. You're gonna slide your right knee toward your right hand, bring your right foot across your body, Get your left leg as far back as you can, so caterpillar your toes to the back. Get the outer right hip to face the ground. Maybe it sinks all the way to the ground, and if it doesn't quite go there and it's a little uncomfortable on the knee, bring the heel in closer to your hips. All right, so kind of bring your heel in toward your groin more. And you can also, if you want, you can use a block or a pillow or something to help lift your hip off the ground, and that way it will be more relaxed. So it's not as close to the ground, and you can allow that hip to relax onto something instead. Your arms come out in front of you, and you want to keep your chest upright. So we're not folding down all the way. You want to keep your back either neutral or a little arched. Give this one more breath. All right, and then we're going to switch sides. So just roll over to the right, and then we're going to move back to that tabletop. And again, other side. So left knee toward the left hand, left foot comes across the body. Crawl your right leg toward the back. And again, depending on your mobility, the heel can come further up or it can come closer to your groin. If you want to go deeper into the stretch and your knees feel secure, you can bring your heel in. You can bring your heel further out if you want to go deeper and your knees feel secure. If your knees feel a little unstable, or you've had MCL issues in the past, or ACL or surgeries in the past, I would not recommend bringing the foot up all the way just yet. Get used to the stretch with your heel closer to your groin. Make sure the weight is in your hips, and then you can move on to a deeper variation. Again, if you want to use that block, you can kind of put that under your hip to make it a little bit easier. And the block is pretty high too, so maybe the block is too high. You can also use a sweatshirt or a pillow if you'd like, to help bring the ground up a little bit and make this stretch work for you a little bit more. Again, when we're doing these restorative postures, you shouldn't feel, it shouldn't feel extremely intense. It shouldn't be just as intense as you were doing your maximum push-ups or your maximum pull-ups. It's a different kind of intensity. We want to be able to manage the intensity. So you want to aim for kind of like a 5 or a 6 on the intensity scale. And that way your muscles can relax and work into it. If you're working with a 9 or a 10 and it's too intense, your muscles aren't going to be able to relax, and you're not going to be able to get the benefits of the stretch. All right, one more breath here. Okay, go ahead and move out. And we're going to flip onto your back for a series of strap stretches, and that's going to be it. So you're going to go onto your back. You're going to grab your strap, bring one leg straight up in the air on the sole of your foot. Press the right knee forward. So we're going right leg up in the air. Press the back of your right knee forward. Reach your right toes toward your face to stretch the calf, and then pull the strap down while pressing the right leg forward. Try to keep your left hip down, and it even helps to squeeze your left hip in a little bit and also press the left knee down toward the ground. So that's going to help you stay stable here. It's also going to help you get a better stretch through your hamstrings. So we're just going to do about 3 breaths here, reaching the toes down. And if you're shaking, that's a good thing. That means that your body is working. That means that it's opening up. Maybe if you want, pulling the strap a little bit closer or pulling your foot closer to your face, if that feels good. Or if you're getting a great stretch right now, then don't worry about it. All right, now we're going to transfer the strap to your left hand. Bring it over to the left. Hold that for just a couple breaths. Keep your right hip on the ground. So don't let your right hip come off the ground. So pull the right hip back to the ground, and then make sure that hip stays down. So Gary, bring your hip to the ground. There we go. Yep. And then try to straighten that leg. Yep. Good. Breathe. Deep breaths. Good. And go ahead and just switch. So now left leg is up, right leg is down. Push the back of your left knee forward, reach your left toes toward the ground. Right leg presses down and hugs in just a little bit. And even here, you want to make sure that you have the arch of your foot pronounced. So make sure that your sole of your foot isn't facing straight up. It should be facing in just a little bit, because that's how the natural arch of your foot works. And you can hold this for up to 90 seconds. We're just gonna do it for about 30 seconds here, but you can hold this stretch for 90 seconds. Each of these stations that we did, you can hold for 90 seconds. And I really recommend doing this on a weekly basis if you can, just setting aside about 10 minutes and making sure that you get these stretches in for your legs. All right, now we're gonna move to the inside. So transfer the strap to your right hand. And if you want, Gary, you can hold the strap a little bit lower. That way you'll be able to straighten the leg a little bit more. And then bring it over to the right. Keep that left hip pulling down. So you might only move over about 4 inches, and that's totally fine. Your goal, bringing the stretch over to the strap over to the right, is to get a stretch to the outer hip. So you're stretching the lateral quad head. You're also going to be stretching the outer hips a little bit. So this is a really good one for relieving back pain or just a little aching pain, kind of right at the top of your hip on your lower back. All right, and then bring it over to the outside. So we're coming all the way to the outside. We're going to bring the right hip, keep the right hip on the ground, lower the left leg toward the ground, and then tighten the left thigh. So we want to see the quadricep tighten. So as the quadricep tightens, the hamstring stretches. And that's how your whole body works in opposites. So when one side of your body engages, the other side stretches. And so this is no different than that. So the more you can flex your quadriceps here, the deeper that stretch is going to be for the hamstrings. Try to reach the toes back as well. One more breath. And then bring it back up to the middle. And go ahead and release the strap. And come up. All right, guys, that was it. That was the restorative workout. So again, this is something that you can do right after a workout. You can do it on active rest days. You can do it at night if you're feeling really sore and you want to help get a better night of sleep. And again, just like all the other workouts from this series, you don't have to do all the workout, the total workout, to get the results or get the benefit. You can just do a couple of the postures. So the more you do these, try to pay attention to the relationship between the posture and how you feel afterwards. And then you can do those postures that are more effective for you on a more regular basis, and that will help relieve kind of the daily aches and pains that most of us go through when it comes to back pain or hip pain or just discomfort while exercising. Again, my name is Dean, founder of Manful Yoga, and if you want to learn more about what we do and also get more workouts and programs, head on over to manfulyoga.com. Again, that's at manfulyoga.com. Thank you to my friend Gary for coming out and helping with this. And thank you to Rhone for providing the inspiration for the shoot outdoors. All right, guys, thanks for joining me, and I really hope to see you on another video. Take care.